a poem for Brienne of Tarth, who is a butch lesbian because I say so. Yes. And what an apt metaphor this scene is, stuffing a butch into a ball gown and pitting her against herself, pitting her against an animal, goaded by men, who give her a wooden sword and watch if she will either kill the bear or herself, either kill the bear or be killed by the bear. Named Brienne, she is just an animal fighting off her own reflection. And what an apt metaphor the woman becomes when you throw her in a pit with something that looks like herself and tell her to rip it apart or be eaten by it, as if that wasn't already how she survived to this point. And what a Chekhov's gun the gown becomes when you are a constant misfire inside of everything beautiful. A blank shot, a dull blade, a dirty dress. And what an apt metaphor the bear becomes when you give it a woman's name. Let's give her all of my dead names. Let's call me Brienne, hand me a sword that won't cut. Let's pretend I'm in a pit and every man I've ever known is watching from the bleachers. Let's pretend they're the ones who put me here. Let's pretend the raging animal of my 13-year-old self has her mouth wide open and she is screaming about what it means to be a girl, and the song of I sure as hell ain't it. And she is coming right at me with claws and I can't bring myself to stab her. She doesn't know how long this war called woman will go on, so she just keeps running and biting and blacking out mirrors. Let's pretend the only time a fandom sees women like me as redeemable is when we are thrown into the arms of the first blonde man in the scene. Put her in a bathtub beside him as he tells her all the things he's sad about. Have her listen so closely she almost becomes beautiful for giving a shit. Remember that even the women branded unfuckable are taught to carry the pain of men inside of them, even when no one will carry theirs back. And see how easily this story plays out right before us. How believable, so natural. It's hardly make-believe at all. Like this, the bear in the pit can be as many people as we want it to be. The bear can be both savage and seraph, both the reason we swore away the dress and why it's so grafted to us years later. The ripped gown can be your old skin coming back for revenge, or maybe it's just a dress, which is almost worse. The pit can be your childhood bedroom, your ex-boyfriend's house. The sword can be both a reaching hand and a closed fist. I see you, Brienne. I am in the pit just below yours. We wear the same gown. We fight the same familiar beasts, and all the men, they laugh. Brienne, we both know how this ends. How when the celebrated man tells you he dreamed of your steely limbs and chose to save you from your own beast, what he really meant was, I wouldn't have given you a second thought had I been awake.